welcome friends. We're doing a playthrough of Comancheria. Game design Joel Toppin. So he wrote the best. This game looks so fun. He wrote the best playbook I think I've ever seen. It walks you through all the different steps you're supposed to take, and then it'll tell you to stop and go check the rule just for what he's about to do. So that is so cool. Anyway, he also has a video series. I'll link it in the description below for his video series where he spends almost 3 hours guiding you through this thing. Anyway, we're more than that, probably 5 hours. So anyway, so here's the setup for the sample play, and I have this all set. We have our little rancheria over here on the left and Upper Arkansas, and then down here we have our horsemanship 1 card in our hand, along with the proper history. This is the H1 history card. So it looks like from the video and the book that we roll a dice, and this determines which enemy activates when you activate an enemy. So we started out with a medicine of 2 over here, and we have 3 units, as well as we have 4 horses. Now, this is just a personal preference thing. I'm going to, instead of using these, I'm going to put those aside, and we're going to use little H markers here, so little beads from the store. So we're going to use, these are going to be our 4 horses right here. We're going to use beads. So when he's riding a horse, we're just going to put an H on there, and he's going to have that horse on him. So we'll do that for this playthrough. So in step 1, he said after you're all set up that we need to go to the take action procedure. And that means that apparently to the left of our medicine guys, we can put our units. So what we're going to do is, these are called bands. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a band here and a band here. And that's going to be our possible bands that we can use. So this is 2 attack power, and this is 5 movement. And you use movement for everything, including attacking things as well. So this is going to be kind of cool. Anyway, and horses will let you move an extra space if you spend a horse. And the medicine counters, they can move over here when you put a success marker on there. So we have our cup with all of our success markers and all that good stuff. And I believe that we're ready to go. So step 1 in the book was a bison hunt, which the bison looked like this. So let's go over to the left, wander into Arkansas, and let's do some bison hunting. All right, so we take the rightmost unit, called a band, and we put them over here. So that area that you saw over here apparently represents this whole rancheria area right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab from that area, we're going to grab a horse and a unit, and then we're going to sit them there. So again, he has 2, I think it's called, 2 strength. Yeah, 2 strength, and then 5 movement. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to move them over, and we're going to start killing off some bison, get some fresh meat in Upper Arkansas. So we're going to keep track of movement points with this dice. So we have 5 movement points right now. We're going to use 1 movement point to move over here. It just costs 1. That brings us down to 4. And then we're going to spend 3. It costs 3 to hunt this bison. So we went from 4 down to 1. And now we're going to attack the bison. So we kill him, and he goes underneath us. So now we are here. We got 1 movement point left, and we got a horse and a bison that we hunted. So there's something about when you're done with one of these markers and you're finished with the movement point, you flip them over and you mark them as finished. So that's what the finish looks like. But apparently in the demo and in the instructions, he said not to do that. We want to use our 1 movement point to move back home, and that way we can move back to the resources pile over here instead of hanging out in the middle of nowhere being finished. So we're going to move our 1 movement point, and we now have expended all of our movement points, and we are back home with our horse and our fresh bison. So at this point, we move him back over into our resources pile, And let's sort of offset him and the bison there. Okay, so he's now back home, and he's got the horse and the bison. But we do need to flip him over to finished to indicate that we cannot do any more actions with him. So we'll pop him over to the 2F side. All right, so we have one guy that we can still move. What we're going to do is we're going to grab the leader, which is this guy here. And we're going to get him and put him with our guy. And we're going to get one horse for the leader and one horse for the band. So we got a leader, a unit, and 2 horses. And now we're going to move these over here to Arkansas where all the action is. All right, we're going to use 2 of our movement points. Where's my dice? What did I do with it? Okay, so we have 5 movement points. We're going to use 2, and we're going to go attack this guy right here. So he is an opposing tribe. We're getting tired of him being over there. We're just going to go attack. So we're going to go 1, 1, 2, and now we're down to 3 movement points. And we use 1 more movement point to raid the tribe. So we have to do a status check, and that is basically drawing a number of things out of here. And in order to do that, we need to roll a dice, and we have rolled a 1. So a 1 means that we get 3 counters out of here. So let's see what we get. We got a success. Got another success. Ooh, this is looking good. We got another success. That couldn't be any better. So we got 3 successes on the pool. So that is going to be fantastic for us. But we also got a 3 enemy AP, which looks like that. That gives us 3 enemy attack points. Not sure what that stands for. So our 3 successes, because we had our leader with us, this guy right here, since he was with us, that means our successes will go here on this track, which, by the way, makes him move up some, and then he gives some of them to this guy, and it makes this guy's medicine move up some. So thumbs up is going to be cool. So the enemy AP that we had goes into the available enemy stack, which is right here. That is available enemy APs. So we get some rewards for our successes. We got 3. So we can get horses or captives. So we're going to choose 1 horse and 2 captives. Where's my captives? We got 1, 2 captives. All right. So we got 2 hostages and 1 horse as our loot, our fat loot for our 3 successes. So captives allow you to strengthen bands or your units during a passage of time, which is right there. And then horses make you just go faster. So it makes you move 1 more space than you could normally move. So maybe exchange for successful raid action, give a positioning band enhanced mobility. So since we had at least 1 success, we get to put a ravaged marker on these guys. And we still have 2 movement points left and 2 horses, which means sort of have 4 movement points left. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a movement point to go ahead and move up here from here over to here. And we're going to attack these guys as well. So do a double damage type thing. So that lets us down to 1 movement point. And we're going to use that last movement point to raid this space. So now we roll our dice, and we get a 3. That means we do not get any bonus counters. We're just going to go 2 bonus counters. And we're drawing 2 bonus counters because we have 2 strength, by the way. So if you wondered how many counters you draw, it's a 2 because you got 2 strength. So let me restack this guy since I'm messing this whole thing up. There we go. All right, so 2 counters. And it is the worst result ever. We got a 2 enemy point, and then we got a 4 enemy point. So now since we did not get any successes out of this, we don't get to put a ravage counter on these guys. So we want to return home and don't want to be stranded out here, so we're going to use 1 horse and move 1 space. And then we're going to burn the last horse and move one more space so that we can return home. So our enemy thing goes here. So we have 3, 4, and 2. Reorganize it. I mean OCD, sorry. 4, 3, and 2 enemy APs. Okay, so now we're coming back home. And we're going to get our guy that we just used. And we're going to flip him over to finished. So now he is finished. And we're going to put the leader underneath him. And we got some fat loot out of this. We got 2 captives and another horse out of those raids. So we're going to put those underneath our guy. So our guy is going to be quite a big stack here. Not quite an SCS stack, but it's pretty close. There we go. Alright, so we got a big stack and a finished guy over there. So we still got 1 horse available and 1 unit available. And we got 3 successes, and obviously a bunch of enemy points down at the bottom there. Now we can use action points, which is cool, and action points to reactivate one of these guys and bring him back to life. Make him a Frankenstein and send him back out to do more damage. But we only have 1 action point, and you need 2 action points in order to reactivate him, so we can't do that this round. So in case you're wondering how I know that, we have a dedicated track for all that stuff. Over here on this track, we have available enemy APs, movement points, but we're not going to use this. I'd rather use the dice, so toss that. We have action points. I am going to use this, and we only have 1 right now. And we have culture points and military points are both at 3. So this is the general record track over here on the left. So now we will grab our operations marker, which looks like that, and we'll move it from the start, and we'll move it down 1. So now we're going to unstack these in the cleanup phase. So let's unstack, so we'll put our horses here, and let's see, oops. So we'll put our dudes here. We got 2 finished dudes, we got 1 there, 1 there. So let's put our captives over here. And let's put a horse over here, but we'll switch them out to my preferred horse methodology, which is going to be the little H's. So, and we got our bison over here. All right, so captives, bison, 2 finished, 1 ready, and looks like 3 horses. So now the next thing we do is roll a dice, and if it's below the number, oops, we got to get our leader. Get out of there, leader. Get over here. There we go. All right, so we roll a dice. If it's below the number of finished dudes we have, which in this case is 2, then the enemy gets some sort of a bonus. So let's roll. And for the purposes of the book and the demo, we rolled a 6, which means the enemy does not get a freebie this turn. And that is the operation cleanup phase. So now we draw 1 counter from here. Now, if this is an enemy AP, then he gets to use that. If it's a success, it goes right back in the cup. So let's see what we get. We got quite a bit of stuff there. All right, so we drew a success. So that goes back into the cup. We don't have to put that in the enemy counters down in below. So now for the bad news, the enemy gets to go, and they get to do all their enemy kind of stuff. So we got a 4, a 3, and a 2. So the first thing we do is we roll a dice to determine if it's going to be the north, west, or the south. So you'll see on here, you have dice. So let's say we rolled a 1 or a 2, then it would be the north. If we rolled a 6, it would be the south, etc. That would activate. And those are over here. You'll see west, south, east, north. Those are the guys that will activate. And then we roll another dice, and then this will determine the row. So this determines the column, and then another dice determines the row that we have. So let's roll a dice, and that is a 4. So a 4 is going to match the west. So now we know it's going to be the west, the yellow that's activated. Let's find out which one. And we roll a 3. So 3. So it's going to be this one right here that's activated. So we're going to flip, let me leave this here. We're going to flip this over, and we get a war. So now he starts activating things from the top. So the top is subjugate. So subjugate costs 3 points, as you can see right here, 3 points. And he has a 3-pointer in the pool. So what he's going to do is he's going to activate, do a subjugate, and he's going to spend 3 enemy points to do that. And so now we get this and toss this back into the cup. But the subjugate activates. Oops. The subjugate activates. However, we have 3 cards up top from the beginning. And this one says, while in play, war and subjugate instructions have no effect. So, we'll have some sweat off our brow for that one. But he does not actually execute the instructions procedure unless that procedure would cause the player to execute a recover instruction. So that's not true. So because this was in play, then we get a no subjugate for free. So now the subjugate that he just spent for no reason, goes over here in the inactive pile. So the next thing he's going to do is spin the next one down the line, which is culture, which is going to cost him 3 points. Now he's got a 4-pointer and he's got a 2-pointer. So that's a total of 6. But he doesn't have a 3-pointer to spin. So we're going to get this one, the 4, put it back in the cup. And we're going to go over here to the enemy APs, and we're going to give him 1 and change. So you remember this was on 0. Now we're going to put it on 1. So now he has 1 AP and I have 1 AP. So if you look on the handy handout of bad things that he does, he played a culture, you remember. It cost him 3 and we had to give him 1 and change. Player loses 1 culture point. So come over here to our points. Now again, he had 0 enemy AP, but we had to make a change and give him 1. And we've got 1 AP. But he just killed 1 culture point. So we're going to move this down 1 and deduct a culture point. And that uses up his culture attack on us. So that leaves him with the 2 APs plus this one. So he still has 3 left to kill us with. So now he has spent, let me move this. He has spent the culture, knocked us down a point. We put that over here in the inactive column. So now the next thing he can do is a war. Now war costs 4, but you remember he only has these 2 plus the 1 over here. So that's only a 3. He doesn't have 4. So he's not going to have enough money to do this war action. In case you're wondering what that does, let's get our handy dandy thing of bad things, and you can tell that is a lot of bad things. So war column, range counters enemy space, deduct enemy square space is a P space. Form war column, place war instructions. See, this is no good. This is no good at all. We don't want this. Luckily, he doesn't have enough money. So we're good. So now for convenience, we're going to put that back in the cup. And we're going to move the enemy points from a 1 up to a 4. 3. Sorry, 1 up to a 3. All right, now we do the recovery slide dance. Basically, all these go up. So war, peace, settle, and we get these and we slide them around. So that goes right there. And the subjugate goes right there. And now it is reset and ready for the next phase.